This video I want to speak about what to do if your friend or family member is drowning. So this is based on a real story. Didn't happen too long ago. This happened Monday night. These three people from Minnesota were visiting Chicago. One person dropped his phone in the river. You know, he's in his 20s. He jumps the fence. It's cold out here in Chicago, so there's like ice patches out there. So I guess the phone was on top of an ice patch. And I guess that he thought that the whole river was frozen through. So he jumps the fence and to retrieve his phone. And then the next thing you know, he falls through. And it's like, you know, the weather is like below zero. So the water is like super cold. So he's pretty much drowning, you know. And then he's with two of his friends, a male and female friend, in their 20s as well. The female is 21. They both jump in after him to try to save him. The female ends up dying, and they can't find her body. And then the person that jumped in to get the phone ended up dying. And then the only person that lived was the other male, his friend that tried to help. He's in critical condition in the hospital. So there's a lot of learning things that can, you know, a lot of opportunities to learn from that situation. I already spoke about some of the things in another video, but I want to talk about what to exactly do in that situation if that ended up happening to you. Where, first of all, you know, I already talked about the other video, but you shouldn't be, you know, putting yourself in such danger, you know, to get a phone or whatever the case may be. But whatever. But say it's your friend or your family, your child is drowning, your family is drowning right before your eyes, what to do. One of the most important things to do at that moment is to call for 911. You know, call for emergency personnel. If you have a cell phone, you call with your cell phone. If you don't have a cell phone, you need to run to find somebody who does have a cell phone, and have them call. That's the number one. You need to give the exact location. You need to know exactly where you are. Give the exact location. Call 911. Give the exact location. So you either call on your own cell phone. This is before you do anything. You see the person drowning, you need to immediately call right away. Okay? You call or you run to find somebody that does have a cell phone, have them call. That's the number one thing. Now at that moment, after you call, you give the exact location, you let them know what's going on. Then you make the critical decision of whether or not you're going to try to save this person. But just realize that just because you could swim doesn't mean that you could save this person. So meaning, if you've never tried to save a drowning victim before in your life, it's not the same as just normal swimming. You know, you have to like basically like know what you're doing, otherwise you're gonna drown yourself, because the person's drowning, they're trying to pull you down to stay afloat, and then as they're pulling you down, you end up drowning. So you have to make sure, you have to assess whether or not you're even capable of saving this person. You know, you need to know what you're doing. You know, not everybody out there are lifeguards. Another thing that you gotta assess is, you know, you think you might know how to swim, but that's an average pool. But to actually swim inside a river that's like below freezing, you know, that's a whole nother story. And once your body goes into that river, you can immediately go through some shock. And basically you're not going to be able to do anything. So essentially it's like seeing somebody in a burning building and then you going into the burning building without the proper equipment. You don't know, you know what I'm saying, like you end up burning to death yourself. So when you see like freezing water, and you've never been in freezing water before, you never had that type of training, like I believe the Navy SEALs have that type of training, or people that actually have swam in below zero, water. They know how it feels. They know what to expect. They know what they can handle. But you never swim in that type of water. You never save somebody else, somebody in your life that was drowning. Chances are you jumping in there is not going to be a benefit. It's not going to help them. It's just going to be throwing your life away. It's like somebody who jumps off the top of the building and commits suicide, and you witness that. That's your friend that did it. You jumping after him is not going to help. It's not going to help him. He's already dead. You jumping in after him is just going to make you dead too. That's not... All you could do is just call the police. Hopefully that when he landed, he didn't completely die, and then they can still save his life. But you jumping in after him, it's just gonna hurt you. So there's a lot to be learned from here. Below zero weather. You never swam in like freezing water. You never went in there you never try to save anybody. You're not a lifeguard or anything like that. The best thing to do, just wait for the emergency personnel to arrive, and make sure that they get there as quick as possible. Because you might be in a location that they don't know where it's at. You got to go to the street, flag them down, and direct them to where it's exactly at. Because every single minute counts. Every single second counts. That's the best way to help. But if you actually, if you're going to decide to go in there and jump in there and try to save the person, just realize that's probably not the best decision under those circumstances. Now, even if you are going to jump after him, say the guy's drowning in a swimming pool, and you're a lifeguard. Even there, you still need to let other people know to call like the 911. Because if you end up drowning yourself, at least there's other people coming there to help you guys. But if nobody knows that somebody's drowning except for you, and then you end up not being able to save the person, now you both are drowning and nobody's there to help. That's a huge problem. So basically the number one thing is to notify the emergency personnel before you do anything. If you decide to jump in there and try to save them, that's on you. But call the emergency personnel first. Because then that's gonna, because then if you end up drowning, then at least the emergency personnel are on the way, and they can save both of you. So for example, these two people, this person's friend, they could have called 911 right away. Then 911's on the way. As 911's on the way and they both jump in to try to save him, there's a chance that the woman could have been saved by the emergency personnel. But nobody called 911. They both jumped in to try to save him. Then they're all drowning. They're all screaming help. And then a witness comes by to call 911. By then it's already too late. The woman already died. The other guy already died. If those two people would have just called 911 and just watched and just prayed that he was okay, and then 911 comes, they pull him out of the water, they could have saved him, and then they all would have been fine. It would have been the best decision for them to call 911 and then not jump in there. But if they decide to jump, they should have called 911 and then jumped in after they called 911. Because during the time that they're trying to save them and then 911 comes, then they could have saved all three of them. But they didn't do that. They didn't call 911. They jumped right into the water right away as soon as the guy was drowning, and then they all pretty much were all drowning all at once. And then the witness did the smart thing. The witness saw them. He didn't jump in. The witness called 911 and let 911, the emergency personnel, take care of the situation. The witness didn't jump in. If the witness jumped in, he would have been stupid too. But he didn't jump in because he wasn't attached to these people in that way. He wasn't like their friend or anything. He just did he made a smart decision to save his own life. But now you know you got your friend in there, and then you feel so many emotions, and you just jump in there. You just end up dying with him. So this is something that we could all learn from. It's not just in regards to people drowning, but you see somebody that's unconscious. He's not breathing. You gotta call 911 right away. Call 911 right away, and then give CPR. Okay, this is what they teach you in the CPR certification. Someone's like not breathing, you know, or unconscious. If they're unconscious, you call 911, or you tell somebody else to call 911, and then you start giving care. So they say like check, call, care. That's what they call it. Check the situation. Alright, the person's unconscious. Call 911 or tell somebody else to call 911, and then care for the person. So that's what's gonna be the best response. You know, no matter if the person's like unconscious, not breathing, or the person's drowning. So those are very important things to always keep in your mind.